Hi everybody, it's Kelly here. My husband's gone out to coach soccer and my daughter's working today, so I got a little bit of peace and quiet to get things done. I'm just going to put a little bit of more silver paint on the bottom of this bell. I wasn't sure how to do the best thing to paint styrofoam, but I just looked it up and on WikiHow I think it says, yeah, just put acrylic paint on it, it sticks good. So one of these little bitty brushes, but on the bottom you can't see it. A bit more. And then I'm hoping to do the glue fabric. We were doing ornaments on it. I'll show you guys in a second, but I found how to do it on Shabby Fabrics YouTube channel. Jennifer Bosworth has a very good explanation of how to do it, so I try to remember to get that linked. Let you do it. It doesn't really matter too much for the bottom. Then what I want to do is, it works best if you've got little bitty pieces of fabric. You can see this sort of like silvery, leafy, snowflakey stuff. And then with regular old Mod Podge, I got matte because that's what I stick things on with. Then you just stick it on. And then I have various, like for doing on the surface, I got satin, like depending on what the fabric is. And move it up a little bit and see me. Oh, stupid thing. There we go. What the fabric is, what the finish I want. I've got satin, which just gives it a little sheen. I found all these at Michael's last year. I've got extreme glitter. That's a fun one, but it does get everywhere. Sparkle's not bad. That's sort of a good all-around one, because then if we ornaments into lights, they kind of give a little bit of twinkly. Or there's just regular old gloss, which is kind of an all basic, good old Mod Podge or whatever. So I've got the tail end of one here, and I'm going to use that. I've got a brush here. And what I want to attempt, because this silver stuff's going to go on that bell when it's dry. But I've got just a very basic silver print that's kind of small. And I'm going to just use one of these. Now, I bought 4 packs last year of these glass ornaments at Michael's. I think they're 3 inches or something like that. Not the humongous big ones, but the, regular size ones. You can also buy the styrofoam ones at the dollar store. I've used both. It doesn't really matter. Both works fine. And the secret, because it's round and you're trying to stick it down, you have to have pretty small pieces of fabric. And you can kind of goop it up. It doesn't really matter too much. I mean, you really want this stuff to stick. So, for example, like, I'll take that little piece. So, I don't know, this is like a piece big as my finger, maybe. So, like pieces like that. And then you just get your Mod Podge. I'm going to get more of this. I was going to try and dump it out, but there's not enough left in this. It's just kind of down the bottom, so I have to go for it anyway. First of all, you got to take the little doodad out so you don't get goop all over it. There we go. Put that over there. And kind of hold it with your finger and shove your finger inside. And I quite often start from the bottom because it's, I don't know why, because then I can sit it upside down, let it dry. So gob some Mod Podge on there. You can use quite a bit because it dries clear or sparkly or whatever you use. Get it on there. You see pretty well covered there. And then take a little piece of fabric, stick it right on there, and then you can sort of like smooth it as best you can with your finger so there isn't any wrinkles. You're going to get gluey, but here's what it is. See, so that's on there fairly smoothly. And then you go over it with your brush. One of these little sponge brushes work great. Just gently on the edges and sort of spread it. You can see what I'm doing. It's hard to see from the camera, but on my phone, I mean, sometimes you get little threads. That's what happens. Just pick it out. There you go. And just sort of spread it so that you've got Mod Podge on the top and so it's stuck on the bottom. And then a little bit more on. Go over a little bit. And put the next piece on and overlap them a little bit. You don't have to have it perfect. They stick on pretty good. Make sure you got enough underneath. I'm going to put a bit more right there and stick that down. Pat it into place. Smooth it along. The fabric kind of absorbs the Mod Podge a bit and like softens kind of. So you can spread it, like not spread it, like you can smooth the edge. So then, and just keep going back and making sure that you don't have any wrinkles popping up, because that happens sometimes. And if it does, well, it's not the end of the world. Ornament still looks pretty good. But yeah, don't be afraid to go a little nuts with the Mod Podge. Too much is better than not enough, for sure. And spread that out. And then you just keep going until you have the whole thing covered. Now, what I normally do, this has worked in the past because I've made them, is sort of done like one side or one section, and then let it dry before I do any more. Just because it's easier to handle, for one thing. It gets a little hard when you've got too much. Actually, I've got to cut myself some more little bits of thread here. Now I'm all gluey. Yeah, well, should have done it before. So be ready, everybody, if you're going to do this. It's not actually that hard. And you can kind of do whatever you want. You can do it in multicolors, and that looks cool. You don't have to be all the same. Whatever turns you on. So let me get one more piece on here so you just kind of get the gist of it better. Let's stick this one right here. Kind of go this way. And goop it up. Spread that on there like that. Okay, spread out your Mod Podge. Make sure it's not too goopy in one spot. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. I'm gonna have to be here. I'll stick it in my little thing. Usually, what I do is I get a plastic cup or something, and I just sit it upside down to let it dry. But I'll sit it on my little Mod Podge holder right now that I was attempting to use, but couldn't get the Mod Podge out. So possibilities I thought I might do with other ornaments, because I have a few more of those glass ones. I've got a ton of this fabric. It's all candy canes and like tree boughs and little flowers and stuff. That would be a cute one. Put a red bow on it afterwards. I've got some little odds and ends of bits of red trucks and little like Santa sacks and presents, and you know that's also another cute possibility. Pretty much anything you want, any kind of Christmas fabric you got, little bits of whatever, you can do whatever you want. Sky's the limit. Use your imagination. If you want to do bows, I just looked on YouTube. For these bigger ones, or like if you do the really big ones, you kind of do need the big wide wired like sparkly bow. I forget whose YouTube channel I found, but somebody had how to do a Christmas bow on YouTube. Just look it up, and it actually worked pretty good. Hot glue gun comes in handy for that. Maybe down the road, if I get more of these done, I have to do those type of bows, then I'll maybe film it and see if I can do it as good as the video I saw. Otherwise, you can just use the regular ribbon and tie a bow and stick it on, or whatever. You can add buttons to it if you want. Anything. Go crazy. Usually I just take a piece of ribbon, because I've got lots of it's not wire, but I have lots of that sparkly silver ribbon from the dollar store. I don't know what it is, 1/4 of an inch or something. So just do it long enough and put it through this little doodad, and voila, you have an ornament. It's pretty easy. Make sure when you go to do your gluing that you go just to the edge. You can go up a little bit and it doesn't really matter, but try not to get it too far up, because otherwise you can't really get this little metal thing back down over it properly. So just try to get it right to the edge there. It's not dire, but if you can help it, try not to get very much fabric up on this little neck part. Other than that, it's pretty simple. So there you go. That's how to make those ornaments. Again, I will try to get the Shabby Fabrics link, because Jennifer Bosworth explains it way better than me, and she has a bunch of other cool ornament tutorials besides which that I might try someday. Otherwise, I guess that's it for me. Bye for now.